Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Shauna. Let's get into this. So, yesterday, the topic was about atheists. And I opposed a challenge, if you will, to encourage people of all different religious and spiritual beliefs and backgrounds to investigate and learn more about something other than what they actively or currently or have engaged in. I stated that I would learn about the Buddhist culture, and after the segment ended yesterday, the Most High told me to make this a series. So we're gonna run this, all right? Y'all gonna run God his fade, cause he tired. All right, y'all gonna run that man his fade because it's apparently a lot of people, my age, around like my age bracket, who are atheists, who are struggling with believing in the Most High, who are having so many questions and concerns in regards to the books. And I just wanted to make sure, that I definitely had this conversation because I'm a firm believer, and even I too, like I said yesterday, question a lot of things. And the less you know the Creator, the less likely it is that you will understand the things that He makes happen, even the things that may hurt you or feel as though they are bad things, right? Because ultimately, when bad things happen to us, so many good things come out of that. So I think that's one of the keys, like one of the most important parts here, to just kind of stay tuned into what it is that makes you fulfilled. And if being negative, casting spells on people, spiritually spying or physically spying, ganging up on people in the spirit or in the physical, if those things fulfill you, something's wrong, right? Or if simply just hating another group, a person, just for no reason, without basis at all, something's wrong. Now, if something happened to you, like in a masjid or a church or a cathedral or a kingdom of hall or at your nanny's house, like if something happened to you and it is heavily related to a particular religion or culture, then I will understand why you would have a distorted mind frame. But let's not forget, people don't make God, right? People make religion, okay? And as perfect as Islam may be, as perfect as any religion may be, people will do things that contradict what it is that they're studying religiously or spiritually. And we have to learn how to make sure we know how to separate people from God, people from systems, people from religion. I looked at a Sarah Jakes sermon, really good, blew my mind. Her last one where she pulled the wig off, can't get the name of it, but she has a pink ensemble. She looks really nice. And she talked about the body having to be present, right? About you having to be present in the moment. And I'm going to get deeper into that, but just as far as surface level goes, You have to know how to check in, how to tap in, how to tune in, and how to fine tune your needle on your navigation stick, because we have to remember the spiritual world is comprised of many different things, right? We have dead people, we have roaming spirits, we have people that are waiting to be born and come into fruition. We have people that are alive that spy. We have entities that were created to distract us and test us, right? So I think it's important to be mindful that everything we know and understand has an underlying theme or tone, and so many other things that are connected to it that we don't understand, or that may not make the most sense to us. However, there may be people who can read a passage, who can read a verse, who can read anything from a religious text and interpret it, what it could possibly mean, in so many different ways. Then you have people who don't have those type of diabolical minds, where they can only see it from one perspective, right? So that is subjective. That is a subjective thing, as is religion, right? I was having like a debate yesterday, and some people associate the acts of some people with an entire religion. And is that not the same thing people do to us, like as black people? Like, oh, they're thugs over there. They're all thugs. They're on welfare over there. They're all on welfare. They're all lazy. They can't read over there. Therefore, they all must be ignorant and uneducated or illiterate or not articulate enough. So we have to be really careful of the things that we start to stereotype. So now fast forward, I said that I would do the Buddhist religion as something I would learn more about. But like I said yesterday, and I'm going to say it again, if you don't believe in God, if you are Muslim, if you are Christian, if whatever your religion is, whatever it is that you study, right? It may behoove you to learn something about another religion or culture, right? As suggested, if you don't believe in God, right, and you don't deem it necessary to read any religious text or sacred text, I urge you to go outside into nature and really observe nature and see how everything is so closely correlated, and even how it connects to you and other people that you may know or may not know in the environment. It'll open up your mind, I promise you. So now I started to do some research. First of all, the Buddhist religion is one of the oldest religions. They actually have 3 different categories that their sacred text is based off of, and it's really interesting because this religion doesn't have a deity. So they don't have like a Jesus or a Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. Or like Mary, like there's no character associated, right? The Pali Canon is the book that they use, also called the Tipitaka, or the triple basket, or the triptaka. The triptaka is obviously, the trip is the triple, the 3, and it's different branches of that particular book. Now, I thought this was interesting because when I started, just doing my research, I'm like, oh, they don't have a deity. Of course, the Buddha is what they pray to, but the Buddha is to a person, but not a part of the teachings, right? The Buddha is not a part of the actual, because this is a philosophy, right? This is more so based on philosophy and moral conduct. This particular religion, and I'm gonna do much more research, trust me. I just wanted to do like surface level stuff first because this is something that I am learning, right? This is new information to me. I always thought that the Buddhist religion started in China. It actually started in India and spread to China, obviously by way of people who practice it and took it with them. But the Silk trade was actually like the avenue where it started. So there we go again with people and garments, right? Materials. We had two different segments about that where we talked about how God loves relationships and how materials are vital and tell the story of a time frame, right? And they can mark a period of history. And here is a prime example of what can come out of that, right? An entire movement, which the Buddhist culture is considered to be one of the world's largest religions to date, and get this, it's said to be like one of the most peaceful religions. It's a lot of different traditions and customs that go into this. There is no major indoctrinations here. So I just wanted to make sure, like, when we have these conversations, we are being honest and we are also being receptive. I know a lot of people won't, it won't make sense if you're not spiritually inclined. Buddhists are vegetarians, not vegans, big difference. And again, there are branches, right? Not sex. Kind of different, but similar, but still different at the same time. And Buddhist does not believe that God created everything. I thought that was so crazy. Siddhartha Gautama is the Buddha face that we see. This is probably one of the main practicers, right? Or pushers or voices early on. So I think it's really important to kind of be mindful of the different layers that come with the religion. Like, before you go into this, understand that there are several layers to spirituality and religion, to God, right? If you are a believer in the Most High and you look at everything that the Most High has created, it's complex, simplistic, but very intricate still, all at the same time, right? Nothing that the Most High creates is not complex. Everything that the Most High has created is layered. So when you think of religion, the common goal is to create a relationship with the Most High or build on the one that you already have. It is not to pick apart and pull apart the stories that don't make sense to you. I mean, if you feel that'll give you a better idea, sure, go ahead. But I will tell you this. If you don't understand, or if you see people who don't really have that concept of, okay, I'm going to learn until this makes sense, or I'm going to move on because it doesn't make sense. Okay, that's normal. Anything else in between that is concerning, okay? There should never be a fight about who is God or what's the best religion, because everyone has their own perspective in resonation checklist, right? And a certain level of maturity is also required in this thing, right? You can't be that same 5-year-old person that used to go to church with your grandma and get pinched because you were making noise, right? You have to be an adult, or at least mature enough to be able to look at this from a non-human perspective, meaning take yourself out of yourself, your thinking, what it is that you know is going to be challenged. Even if you are a believer and you have a culture or religion that you want to learn more about, and it's contradictory of what you know from your religion or your culture, or it may coincide, right? If you have so many answers that you needed for questions from your religion, and then you go over and it may answer more questions, look at that. And again, I'm only saying this because a lot of people are atheists, and a lot of people have misconceptions about what it is that they do know in regards to other religions and cultures and just groups of people. So I think it's really important to just keep in mind that the things you know will be challenged, and all of your questions may not get answered, okay? But other than that, I'm gonna come with a little more facts. I just wanted to start this segment out stating that we're going into a new series, and this series is gonna be basically me debunking all of the theories and lies and just the confusion around religion and atheism. And I'm going to actually go into all of the religions, what makes them similar, what makes them different, why. I'm going to also look into atheists too. I mean, there's not really much to look into. If you don't believe in God, you don't really have anything. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but the lower levels, because when you do have something you subscribe to outside of yourself, it's an elevation. When you believe that there's nothing outside of yourself, it is everything but an elevation. You pick a word, but it's not an additive. I'll tell you that. It's definitely something that will take away from you and who you are if you don't have the nerve or the wherewithal to find something greater than yourself. I'm going to stop here, though, because I don't want to start going into discussions that are going to be for, later, segments for this series. But again, make sure you keep an open mind, and make sure you look all around you, not just in one place for information. Ask people questions. Ask people of other cultures questions, like ask a Jew something, ask, a Mexican person something. I know most Hispanic people are Catholic, but I know a lot of people have different things they're into. And that's mainly for the atheists, because even people who don't worship God and worship like snakes, I know in Mexico, like the snake is like, like they worship the snake. Like even that is something that is not of a higher vibration, but it is recognizing that something outside of yourself is more powerful than you, right? So the thing is to get out of the ego. But yeah, I love y'all. I hope y'all are enjoying y'all weekend. I hope y'all drink some water, eat some fruit, some vegetables, get some rest, and have some fun, okay? And I hope y'all mind your business and sip y'all tea, because it is free. All right, y'all. Don't get recruited by the devil. All right. Love y'all. Peace.